Alright, so this is a little bit awkward because Royal and I have been merking for a few different clans in clan battles. These guys, Shine, are one of the ones that we've actually been playing for a lot. And basically one thing led to another and we ended up merking for what is PN right now, or PN31 I guess. Uh, and, well, yeah, so... Royal is in the Svei. I am in a Kleber, and I think Royal. I literally just asked you this, and I already fucking forgot. You called this one, right?
Yes.
Okay. Then start talking.
What live stream? I need to see.
Oh fuck! Hold on.
Leave this in the video. Show your incompetence.
Fuck you. All right. So now start talking.
Okay, so yeah, Colbert and the Svei over to Seek hiding, Petro on the Four-Line Island, Colombo
I
mid.
need to get
Daring is
OBS pulled
gonna
up.
be screening that Petro positioning on the Four-Line. We have a Marsili, which is gonna push out on the 2-line. And then we've got a Salem, which is going into the E6 rock, facing his guns towards C,
Yeah,
nosing guns into
basically
C.
like hold on. Like our Salem is his goal is to get to this rock right there, and to have guns and radar on the caps. Also, I don't know why the lines aren't as visible as they normally are. They're there, but it's just they're not quite as pronounced as they once were. But whatever. So, right now, what we're looking at is first of all, we want to know what uh, what their deployment is. So right now, I'm kind of being a little bit aggressive here because I know that I have this island right here that I can kind of zoom behind if I need to. Uh, and I'm expecting that whatever destroyer they have is most likely going to spot me and either disengage or is going to take a few pot shots and then run behind the island, at which point I can also disengage via the same island. And we do spot this Colombo right here, and critically, we note that his guns are facing over towards AB, like this direction. So with that in mind, we're expecting that this Columbo is most likely going to be either walking in the middle or he's going to turn out like that, and they might be doing a heavy C push. And this radar right here basically just confirms that what we just expected is that they're probably going heavy for C, and they popped an info radar right there. So that's what we're thinking right about this point.
Yeah, I think we thought, based on the duration, we assumed that it's Faye that hit you with the radar.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get aggressive onto the rock in my Svei, town, basically mirroring where their Svei would be playing right about now.
And what my goal in the Kleber is to try and make it as hard or as dangerous as possible for their Svei to try and walk at Royal, which is actually going to be incredibly dangerous for me. What I should have done here was turned up north towards the towards like the AB line instead of turning in like I did. But I was expecting that the Yu Yang probably wouldn't be too keen to push into a Svei here. So I am going to take a little bit of damage for this, but we are going to ultimately get away. It's a little bit annoying, but it is what it is. It is still better than dying. Naturally, as soon as I pop my reload booster is when the Svei smokes up, so we just take a few blind shots at the Svei.
Yeah, Yu Yang also pops his head out.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure why the Yu Yang thought it would be in his best interest to open fire there, but you know, okay. whatever.
Yeah, he should have probably got punished for it, but we had a thing called other problems.
Yeah. Right now, what's going on is their Mosfa has actually been taking quite a bit of a beating. When we said this during the game, our guys over on the opposite side actually did a pretty good job of focusing down this Mosfa up until the point where the Napoli showed up. And in the classic saying on this channel that we have, well, they have a thing called other problems. And right now, we have our Salem and our Colombo in the middle of the map. I don't remember how exactly that came to be, but Royal, you care to elaborate on what's going on here?
Yeah, Colombo for some reason thought it was a good idea to push into A and B, which is not advisable at all. Don't
Uh,
do that.
I mean, at least not this early. Like,
No,
later on in
no.
the game, and like maybe the last 5 minutes, if you have the health, you can maybe try shoving your battleship if you need to. But at this point in the game, this is literally just donating. And you can see it being reflected right here. The Colombo is literally about to die. We are going to ultimately trade the Petro for it, but losing your battleship that early and for basically free, trading a cruiser for a battleship is never a good trade. So right now, our Salem is having a thing called other problems, and the Salem is trying to get up to the rock right here. I literally just tried to ping the map. Holy, okay. Uh, our Marseille goes down to the Napoli, and our Salem. Our goal, the Kleber and the Sve, our goal is to try and support our Salem right now.
Yeah. In theory, here, Salem is in a decent position as soon as that Petro goes down to win against the Colombo, because he's got
Yep.
super heal and he just wins on DPM.
Yeah.
Especially if the Colombo goes out broadside to him at all,
Yeah, and we actually briefly considered just using our Salem to ram out the Columbo, because as soon as this Columbo dies, their AB is pretty much wide open. There's still the threat of the Sfei and the Yu Yang rotating. Like, for all we know, the Sfei and the Yu Yang could be, like, over where the Columbo is right now. But no, like, our Salem didn't say that there was smoke anywhere. And right here, uh, me in the Kleber, what I am telling our Salem right now is stay where you are. This Kleber is going to spot the Columbo and is going to tank the hit for you. And then you can go for the ram here. That's the plan right now. So I'm going to trade a bit of health to soak up some damage for my Salem, for him to try and guarantee that he at least trades with the Columbo. But what ultimately ends up happening is the Columbo just kind of sails out broadside to the Salem and then sits there.
I would have here, if I was in the Kleber, Zeka, I would have probably launched Torps at Columbo, expecting him to try to slow down to avoid the ram, and try to get them behind the Salem, so that the Salem might be able to use those to win that engagement without needing to ram.
Yeah, that's what I probably should have done, admittedly, but in classic in the classic name of this channel, I had a thing called Other Problems, and I, straight up didn't think of it. So, could have, should have, would have, didn't. It did end up working out for us, though, because we did end up killing their Columbo for basically free. We took a bit of damage doing it, but now our position is very strong because we somehow killed their Napoli. I actually don't know how that happened. Our Petro...
Napoli donated himself to the Petro for
Yeah,
basically free.
feels pretty good there. So our Kleber is just going to slip right into AB. We're going to cap that. And our Salem, now that the threat of the Columbo and the Petro are both gone, our Salem can just sit right there on the island And these guys basically are trapped unless they were to go like all the way around like this. Uh, they pretty much can. They're pretty much trapped in this area of the map, and are unable, pretty much just straight up unable to influence events at this point.
Yeah, this is also the time that I told Zeka, hey, I'm gonna need you back over here as soon as you get the caps. Because I ate a YY Torp in Sve. Just unfortunate Torp placement, but those
Gobble,
deep
gobble,
waters,
gobble.
they can get you. Yeah, especially when you have no hydro. So
Yeah. Deep waters are like extremely dangerous. Like you cannot sleep on those cuz like oh they can't hit destroyers, man. Yeah, but they can literally hit everything else.
yeah,
So,
I mean, if you notice my health pool, I was at basically full health, and I took one hit, and I was down to 8k.
yeah, feels light cruiser, man. So right now, their Mosfa is basically donating. So the only threat that they have left are the full health Yu Yang and the full health Fei. And our Salem is actually getting, we were at least was getting farmed a little bit from smoke. I think it's faded now. Uh, but it's literally the moral of the story is it's on the Sfei and the Yu Yang to win this game now. And if you were in the position of the Yu Yang and the Sfei, hypothetically, what do you think they could have done at this point?
Uh, Realistically, as soon as I ate the Torp, the Sve needed to be going down the 9 line. He would have won the engagement, and the Yu Yang would have had to go to try to Torp out the Salem. That's
Yeah.
how they would have had to win, but they did not do that. The Sve is
Yeah,
kited, as you can see.
Yeah. I'm not positive on if that alone would have been able to win them the game. Because looking at the scores right now, even if they kill you and they somehow kill the Salem, which by the way, the Salem just needs to reverse behind the island and laugh. Uh, Even if they get C and they kill this Fae, what are they going to do? They're literally 500 points behind, and they're going to be double capped. So, realistically, this game was lost as soon as their ships in the middle died.
Oh yeah,
Because,
as soon as the Columba went down, they
yeah.
lost the game.
I mean, like, if their Napoli didn't donate, the Shima, what the hell happened to the Shima? Oh, the Shima got run down by the Daring and the Petro, never mind. Uh, as soon as those guys in the middle died, their best shot would have been if the Napoli didn't donate and maybe the Shima was able to get torps out on the, Petro or something. Like, possibly. Maybe. That is still a bit of a stretch because they pretty much lost all semblance of map control. But having a full health Napoli to walk at things would have been their best shot.
I mean, it's like we've talked about previously, where one play can lose the entire game. GLHF versus GGWP.
Yeah.
Yeah, if maybe link that video in the description of this one, so that people can see what we're talking about. But
Yep.
on Thunderdome, they donated 2 ships for the price of 1, and that instantly lost them the game. Kind of similar here. Realistically, as soon as the Napoli and the Columba went down, it just lost the game.
Yeah,
'Cause they had no way to
that
push
is
their full
after,
position.
mind you, that is after we lost our own Colombo and I think the Marseille. We lost both of those ships for basically free. So this was in essence like a colossal throw. They should honestly not have lost this game. I think their mistake ultimately that cost them was overcommitting.
Yeah, they overcommitted ships, and they pushed when they didn't need to push.
Yeah, like their Napoli killing off the Marseille, that was good. You know, but then continuing to push the Daring and the Petro was not exactly brilliant because the Petro doesn't really like I could be wrong here, but this is like giving flashbacks to like the Venezia season of clan battles where Petro was like rampant because it doesn't really eat sap the way that the Stalingrad did. I don't know if that is still the case or if that's the case against Napoli specifically, but once upon a time that was at least the case.
Yeah, and in general, don't take a Stalingrad into clan battles anymore. It's tragic.
Yeah,
That's,
but like going back to this specific game, we already talked about the overcommitting, but what do you think? Either team, like obviously we should not have had a Columbo in the middle of the map. I still don't actually remember, or I actually don't even think I know how that happened. I remember just looking at the map and I was seeing like our Columbo in the middle. I was like, wait, what the fuck, man? But had we not donated the Columbo, let's assume that the Columbo didn't donate the way he did. We still might have lost the Marseille. But what do you think would have been different had we not lost the Columbo early?
uh, I mean, they couldn't have gotten away with that Columbo positioning for as long as it sat there. Their Columbo was in a very exposed position to our Columbo if our Columbo didn't donate.
Yeah, like
And
if you
that would have
saw,
just
I didn't mean to cut you off there, but if you saw like towards the beginning, in the first like the first 5 minutes, 4 or 5 minutes of the game, we had their Columbo on half health, and that's probably
yeah
after he healed.
yeah we should have been able to kill him there, and I think our Columbo definitely pushed when he didn't need to push, and if that didn't happen, their Columbo probably would have been dead in the first 7 minutes of a game, which is never good. You never want your
Yeah,
battleship going down first. It's not a good thing.
yeah, that's arguably that's worse than losing your destroyer first.
Yeah, especially when you're running 2DD, because the BB, it just kind of pops up and slaps things for 20 or 30,000, and then hides again.
So like if we were to look at this from the perspective of Shine here, let's assume that everything up to the point of they had killed our battleship and our they killed our battleship and our Marseille. Let's just give the Napoli the benefit of the doubt. Let's just say he overcommitted and like he torped out the Marseille and he was already like so deep that he couldn't possibly get away. So he's just like, tried to do as much damage to the Petro as possible. Let's just give the Napoli a pass there, and let's just say he traded with the Marseille, and this is after that they killed our Columbo. What was their route to victory to win this game?
Don't donate their Columbo. Don't donate their Napoli for nothing. Their
Their
Napoli didn't need to push.
Yeah, the Napoli uh killing the Marseille was good. I'm not sure. I was not looking at the map. I don't know how like when we first spotted him, he was in like that specific channel. You know the one I'm talking about, that near where a cap would normally be in like a random game. That like really small channel there, like right next to the cap. You know the one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
He was. I think that was the very first time that he was spotted, and at that point, you're already overcommitted. So he might as well have just pressed W and at least gotten the trade off. So, not the greatest, but he did at least trade, and he tied up two of our ships, the Daring and the Petro, for quite a bit of time. So, fair enough. I guess we'll give him a semi pass for that. The
We'll give him
Columbo,
a 60%.
yeah, the Columbo just straight up donated. Their Petro, straight up donated as well. Like if you saw, he was in like the middle of the map. And he actually had a route to delete our Salem as he pushed around the island to finish the Petro, and he could have possibly have traded there. Maybe question mark. It depends on like what the angles were like. I was just looking at it, but possibly.
Their Moskva also ate a lot of damage early on.
Coincidentally, though, he was, I think, straight up the last ship on their entire team to have died this game, despite how much damage he took early on. So, obviously taking that much damage is never a brilliant thing. But to his credit, he still did at least live longer than most of his team. So, I guess at very least a few brownie points or something for that.
Yeah. Got to give him some credit.
Yeah, he did. I mean, he still lost, but he did at least do a good job of, despite the early beating he took, he still stayed dark when he should have stayed dark. There, Napoli was able to basically force a thing called other problems on the ships shooting at him, and he ultimately and the Nap, like we said, ultimately traded. So all's fine there, I guess, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
But the thing that we wanted to talk about is we've said before, one singular play, one mistake is all it takes to lose an entire game. And this is exactly what we mean by that. Because if their Colombo didn't donate, even if their Petro donated, if everything else was the same up to the point where these two ships died, even if the Petro died to secure the kill on the Colombo, trading a cruiser for a battleship is 100% is worth the trade 100% of the time. Trading what is essentially a battleship and a cruiser for one battleship is where the trade becomes negative, and that's what ended up happening there. So the Colombo, I don't want to point it entirely on the Colombo because the Petro, the Napoli also kind of donated, but at the same time, they can at least be given the benefit of the doubt and say that they were securing trades. But the Colombo should not have died there. The Colombo,
Yeah.
like, he was turned out as well, so he could have like kited away and then just smashed the Salem from a distance, but instead he literally just rounded the corner broadside to a Salem, and then just sat broadside to a Salem. So we
Yeah, he didn't do
appreciate that.
himself any favors.
Yeah. And that, like I said, that was after he had already turned himself out, by the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, the moral of the story is one mistake can be all it takes to lose a game. This is an example of that. Literally, the game before this is another example of that because Royal, like the classic shitter that he is, managed to int into Gearing Torps and literally lost the game because we were behind on points at that point. But shit happens.
Hey, listen. Technically, I was playing correctly. I was nose in. It just happened to be that by the
Yeah.
time I spotted the torps,
Yeah,
it was on my nose.
yeah, sometimes you just get unlucky. And also that reminds me, I just a very very quick note, if you have access to legendary commanders or seasoned commanders, any commander that has improved skills like improved adrenaline rush, improved survivability expert, especially survivability expert, they are 100,000 million fuck ton times worth investing into, specifically for clan battles and comp in general, because having that extra 500 HP can be the difference between life and death and winning or losing, or having that little extra tiny boost from improved adrenaline rush can give you that last little bit of reload to get a last second salvo off before you die, and you manage to trade instead of go -1. So it is 100,000% worth investing into special commanders and running signal flags. If you want to win, those two things are not optional.
They're less than not optional.
Yeah.
you're just hard throwing if you are not running the
But
yeah.
anyway, in classic replay review fashion, we've literally been here talking about the game after the game. Then we've spent literally looking at the actual game itself in classic replay review fashion. So, is there anything else you want to add before we wrap this one up? Anything at all?
Shine as shit, PN31 for life.
All right. I think that's a pretty good moral, to be honest. So everyone in the comments, make sure you say, "Shine is shit," and also "fuck you, Royal."
Yeah, that's another important one.